Welcome back, first timers. But if you're new here, I'm David, and this is Terry.
We're the first timers. We're trying things for the first time, and you can too.
In today's episode, we're trying out 3 festively fall soup recipes.
That's right. Right on cue. Here's noodles. Sadly, it's not noodle soup.
No. Oh, are we not doing a noodle soup?
No.
Oh, I actually don't even know what soup we're making.
I got my soup shirt on.
I got my fall shirt on. We're ready to go.
Do you know what we're making?
Absolutely not.
We're making a Copycat Panera autumn squash soup, a Copycat Olive Garden chicken gnocchi soup.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And a beef stew with dumplings.
Those all sound fall.
Fall-esque.
Yeah, very fall-esque. I'm gonna get out of Terry's way, get out of the kitchen, and I can't wait to try them already.
We're going to start with the Copycat Panera Autumn Squash Soup because it's going in the crock pot, so it's going to take the longest. So I just have a little bit of chopping to do. I did cheat and bought pre-chopped butternut squash, but you can chop it yourself if you like. You need about 2 to 3 pounds. But right now I'm going to chop up 1 whole yellow onion and about a cup of carrots. So David really likes the Panera Autumn Squash Soup, but there's not a Panera really close to us. So this is a good alternative. You can also make a bunch of it and freeze it. It freezes really well. So hopefully it turns out well. I've never made it before. But I just got this handy dandy chopper, so we're gonna try this out. Watch your fingers. Why? We're good now. Take 2. Watch your fingers. Perfect. That works a lot better than chopping it by hand. So we're just gonna go ahead and dump this into the crock pot. Now we're going to chop up our carrots as well with the chopper. We've got about 1.5 cups of carrots going in. And now we've got about 2.5 pounds of butternut squash. If you want to save some money, don't buy the pre-chop, chop it yourself. Now we're going to add in about 1/2 can of pumpkin puree. That looks good. And then you're gonna add about 3.5 cups of vegetable broth, so that's almost this whole container. I'm probably just gonna add the whole thing because what are you gonna do with 1/2 cup of vegetable broth?
I can think of a few things.
Perfect. Now let's add some spices. All right, now we're gonna add in 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. We're also going to add in 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a pinch of cayenne, and a pinch of nutmeg. Now we're going to cook this on high for 3 hours. We've got one more step for our autumn squash soup, and then we can feast. So we're just going to add 1/2 cup of coconut milk. We're just going to blend it with an immersion blender. You could also put it into a regular blender, whatever you have. First time using an immersion blender. Here we go. Let's turn up the power. All right, we're gonna start the beef stew now. We got a little bit of chopping to do. I'm gonna chop up some celery, 1 onion, about a cup of carrots, and then about 2 pounds of potatoes. Let's get chopping. Finish the carrots, now I'm gonna move on to the celery and the onion. This chopper is very convenient. David bought it on Amazon Prime deal. He buys me the nicest things. All right, we got the onion, celery, and carrots done. Now we have to do the potatoes. Sadly, I have to cut those by hand. But we're just gonna do a rough chop on those. All right, I've got about 1.5 pounds of chuck roast and some olive oil. I'm gonna heat it up in a pot over medium heat and brown the beef on all sides for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna pour in just a little bit of olive oil and then put in our beef. Kind of just break it up a little bit. All right, now we're gonna let that brown for about 10 minutes. All right, looks like our beef is pretty much brown. Now we're gonna coat it with some flour. Just wanna stir it around, make sure everything is got a nice coat of flour on it. Just kind of eyeball it. I think I used probably about 1/4 cup maybe. Now that it's coated, we're gonna add in our vegetables. We've got 2 pounds potatoes going in. Our celery, carrots, and onions, which is pretty much a staple in any soup or stew. And then about 1/2 cup of frozen peas. Just gonna eyeball it. That looks good. Just give this a quick stir. I may have underestimated the size of this pot. Now we're gonna season our soup. We've got 2 bay leaves going in, some thyme. Just gonna eyeball it here. That looks good. Some parsley, 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, and some salt and pepper. And you guys already know I love pepper, so we're gonna put a lot of that in there. Now we're gonna add in about 2 cups of red wine, and then 1 container of beef broth. Then you're just gonna give it a nice stir, set it on low, and walk away. And then in about an hour, we'll start on the dumplings that you'll put into the soup.
It's not time to eat yet, but we thought we would take this time while the soup is simmering to do a little mail call. We want to give a shout out to one of our supporters and subscribers, Timmy VR, who gave us a kitchen appliance.
Ooh.
Let's check the mailbag. Oh.
That's quite the mailbag. Goodness.
All right. Hope it's a mixer.
It is not a mixer.
It is not. We have our very own Bob Ross toaster.
Lovely.
I'm gonna try it out right now. But thank you, Timmy VR. This is the appliance that I never knew that I needed.
Nice.
Wow. Let's see how it works.
It's a pretty good like this. Just a little bit of happy honey for his hair. Now I'm going to make our dumplings for our beef stew. We're going to take half a cup of milk, 1 cup of sour cream, and 2 eggs, and whisk that together. All right, let's get to whisking. Now we're going to add in 2 cups of flour, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt, and then a little bit of thyme. Now we're going to mix that all together. We've got our dumplings all mixed up. Now we're just going to drop spoonfuls into our beef stew and let it simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes until they're puffed up. These are called drop dumplings. There's another kind of dumpling that you can make called cut dumplings, where you roll them out and cut them. We're starting the Copycat Olive Garden chicken gnocchi soup. I've got just a little bit of chopping to do, some celery, an onion, roughly chop some spinach, and dice up 1 chicken breast. Start with the onion. Maybe smaller section, maybe not. Just gonna roughly chop the spinach. Watch your fingers. I'm using a rotisserie chicken breast, but you could also cook your own. Once we finish chopping, we're going to saute the vegetables in some butter and olive oil until the onions are translucent. We're going to let this cook down until the onions are translucent, and then we're going to add in half and half and flour and simmer that until it thickens. Once this thickens, we're going to add in the chicken broth and the seasonings and let it simmer until it thickens again. Putting in half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of parsley, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. The recipe calls for half a teaspoon of thyme, but in the notes it said you might want to opt for less thyme. It's time to add in our chicken, gnocchi, spinach, and carrots. About a cup of shredded carrots, a cup of chopped spinach, 1 chicken breast that's already cooked, and then 12 ounces of gnocchi, so about a bag and a half of what I have right here. Now we're just going to let it simmer.
These look amazing.
They smell really good too.
It really does looks just like the Olive Garden soup and the Panera soup. And then I don't know where this is from, but probably like...
Hometown buffet? No.
Ew. I was thinking like an Irish pub or something.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Hometown buffet. Check out this kid. Let's start with the autumn squash soup. Wow.
That's spicy though.
Yeah, that pinch of cayenne, it went a long way. Whew. Maybe a little less pinchy next time, because that's punchy.
That's pretty good though.
It's good, great flavor.
Warms you up.
Yes, like a shot of whiskey.
I like it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
But that heat too, it brings some warmth. Ooh, right there.
All right, can't win them all.
No, it's good. Flavor's great. Texture's really good. You get the onion. No, this is great. This is a really good soup. Nice. Let's do the beef stew with dumplings. I want to try a dumpling.
Yeah, let's try the dumpling first.
All right.
It's got an interesting flavor to it.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's the sour cream and the thyme gives it a real interesting flavor.
No, that's good. It's really good. It's rich.
It doesn't taste like doughy, which a
No.
lot of times dumplings are real doughy.
No, that's a really good dumpling. Mmm.
Oh.
Wow. That meat's super tender. The flavor's great. That wine really shows through. The potatoes aren't squishy. The carrots aren't hard. Like everything is just cooked really well. So
Nice.
good job. I like that a lot.
That's really good. Let's move on to the Copycat Olive Garden chicken gnocchi soup. This one looks good too.
Oh man, it's so thick and rich.
It thickened up real nicely. She's a thick gal.
Saucy.
Cheers. Oh wow.
Whoa!
That has a lot of flavor. I wasn't expecting that.
That is a flavor bomb. It tastes just like the Olive Garden, but not as salty. Wow.
It's got a lot of flavor.
Oh, that is nice. That's my favorite.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was pretty simple. I mean, it just took time.
This one, the gnocchi one, was the quickest one. It only takes about maybe an hour or so.
Awesome. No, all of these are great. So let us know in the comments below which one of these three you want to try. If you like this video, check out this video here where Terry made 3 spectacularly spooky Halloween treats. Thanks again for following along in this episode, and join us next time when we try something else new for the first time.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. First timers.
High five.